Almost. You the new kid on the block? No need to be nervous, because I've got a build crafted just for you. This build is designed to harness your raw skills and mold you into a prodigy, a natural talent who rises above the ordinary to become categorically unstoppable. The Division 2 can feel overwhelming with all the gear, weapons, and talents, but don't worry, I got you. The purpose of this build is mainly for new players discovering the game. I've been getting requests for help with builds tailored to players who are just starting out. What better way to jumpstart your journey than with the brand new Virtuoso gear set, easily accessible through the rewards track or through Countdown, so anyone can get it. This build isn't just for new players, veterans. This will make you unstoppable no matter what level of content you play. Did you see what I did to those legendary enemies in that room? I couldn't believe the damage this build dishes out just off one weapon swap, and once you get a kill, the onslaught continues. I have so much to cover in this build, from the new exotic holster to the Virtuoso gear set itself. So let's get you straight right now. Let me show you how to become a prodigy. Alright, I am not over exaggerating on this. At first, I was thinking in my head, let me be careful, but you saw what it did at the gun range. But I wanted to actually come in here because I'm feeling real confident at the moment with what I have here. Let's get it. Let's go. Give me that friggin' 80% or whatever damage that is. One out.
I got one of them. Taking hits.
Oh, you?
Immediate medical assistance needed.
Thought you had me, didn't you? Give me that mark again. I'll take that mark. Oh. You know what? This is crazy. This is my first time actually using this build after getting out of the lab, and I'm not even like comfortable with it, and it's fire already. Okay, ever since the PTS, and ever since they started talking about the new gear set, Virtuoso, and Legatus, the new brand set, I wasn't really interested in it. Maybe because I didn't really look into it as much. I was more interested in the Stray Gut, and a few other things were on my mind. But after careful consideration and looking over this, it'll be a crime to not use this gear set. Now, this build that I have for you is kind of like an evolution of one I made a long time ago called Bloody Hands, where I was able to get an exponential amount of weapon damage and weapon handling, all kind of bonuses on one weapon swap. And that was without any gear set. I just mixed and matched a lot of the brand pieces. Like there's this one chest piece talent called 𝐒𝐿𝐴𝐴𝐿𝐴𝐿, where when you switch weapons, it gives you a damage bonus. But this is pretty much an evolution to that. I tried it out in PvP. We're going to get into that a little bit later because I have something to say about PvP, and it kind of pissed me off and it made me do something drastic, and you'll see later on. But let's get into this build, okay? As always, when I have weapon heavy builds, I like to use the gunner specialization, specifically because gunner gives you something called coupler, where every third reload is 50% faster. Everybody loves reload, right? Reload equates to DPS. Another thing is for incessant, where killing enemies grants 10% armor, which is something you need, especially with these modifiers that damage you when you shoot enemies from a certain range. On top of the fact that it always gives you ammo, so you're gonna need
the extra ammo for legendary missions when you run out. There's a lot of things going on in this build, but it's not complicated because it conforms to the natural way that you play. You switch weapons all the time, right? And just for doing what you're supposed to do in the game, you get some great bonuses. Let's start off with the gear set so we can get that out the way, and then we'll talk about how it all ties in, because some of you are asking me to explain the gear set because they said there's still things they don't understand. So let's clear it up for you right now. First of all, this is a great 3-piece bonus. It gives you 15% weapon handling, 15% mag size, and 15% weapon damage, which means I don't really have to use a brand wherein I need weapon damage bonus, because this gives you weapon damage all across the board. And the magazine size is going to be perfect for the SMG that I'm using, being that it's pretty low mag. Here's the talent for Virtuoso's 4-piece. It's called Symphony. Killing an enemy further than 25 meters will provide 40% weapon damage to shotguns, SMGs, and pistols, 20% to ARs, LMGs, and 25% bonus armor for 15 seconds. Alternate between killing enemies from long range and from short range, because doing this means that you're intermittently killing them. What this does, it builds stacks up to 4, and all bonuses are multiplied by 2 and triggered at the same time for 15 seconds. So let's say you have a shotgun and an SMG, which I have. This is going to give you 40% weapon damage. This is multiplied up to 4 stacks by 2. Can you see how much damage this has the possibility of dealing? And get this, you have to wear the chest piece, because look at this talent. This is the gear set's exclusive talent for wearing the chest piece. It's called Fortissimo. This doubles the weapon damage of Symphony. So if I'm getting 40% weapon damage with my shotgun and SMG, then that's 80%. Now, like I said, you get more damage than Striker without even using this, without even getting the kill. I'm about to tell you how. We'll get back to this in a second, but check out the weapons, okay? This is one of my favorite weapons of all time. I've had this since for as long as I can remember. It's called the Tactical Vector SBR. I rolled targets out of covered damage on it, and like I said, the mag size is higher than this. Normally, I'm just running impatient. So normally with the mag size being 15% increase, I'm gonna have about 50 something rounds, which is great for a weapon like this. And that doesn't even really matter because you reload so fast. It's like you're not even reloading. That's because of the talent that I have on this weapon called Unwavering. So Unwavering works as such that swapping to this weapon grants 300% weapon handling for 5 seconds. Kills refresh the buff. Swapping away disables this from all weapons for 5 seconds. Remember I said that when you kill an enemy, it continues the onslaught. This means that you continue getting that 300% weapon handling every time you get a kill. And when you swap weapons, you'll get a damage bonus from this new Centurion Scabbard exotic holster. This is an amazing holster because it has a talent on it called Counter. Swapping weapons will give the following groups of bonuses one by one in order: 20% rate of fire, 20% weapon damage, and 50% mag size, plus 50% reload speed. On top of the every third reload speed that you get, which is 50% from the gunner specialization, making it 100%. This is what I mean, okay? The weapon damage that you get from this, and that's not all the weapon damage that you get. Let's continue. Because if you look at the backpack, this is even more weapon damage, but you have to do a little more to get that much. Even still, 100% extra weapon damage is worth it. But we're getting to that, okay? This is the new brand set called the 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐧 and a name backpack called Vigil with Perfect Versatile. Another one of my favorite talents. This amplifies total weapon damage for 10 seconds when swapping between your primary and secondary weapons if they're different. Now, I'd like to amend my statement a little bit because here's how amplified and increased damage works and correlates with each other, okay? You have to add up all of the weapon damage on your build and multiply that by this amplification of the 45%. That's why it deals so much damage on a weapon swap, because it's amplifying up to 220% weapon damage or whatever amount of increased weapon damage you have currently, depending on what you do. So once you swap to any one of these weapon types, it'll give you the following bonus. Now I'm using an SMG, which will give me 45% to enemies within 15 meters. And as you saw in the gameplay, I used a rifle as well. And the requirement is that you have to be more than 25 meters. So it just depends on what you're playing, right? Because when I was in that legendary mission, it worked better for me using a rifle. But then in heroic, I was shredding through everybody with an SMG. It depends on your play style and how you want to play it out. And it gives you the least amount for LMGs, which are pretty broken in this patch. On one weapon swap, you get Perfect Versatile's bonus along with Centurion Scabbard's bonus. And I'm not done yet. This is without any of the weapon damage bonuses on Virtuoso. You have to get a kill first. So just check this out, right? Once you swap weapons, you get that massive weapon damage bonus. And let me go outside because I'm tired of these cats running in front of my screen, making it black. This is a pet peeve of mine. Anyways, As soon as you swap weapons, you get the bonus from Centurion Scabbard, Perfect Versatile. Once you get that kill, it prompts the bonuses from Virtuoso. So if you get a kill that's 40% weapon damage, no, not 40%, 80%, because you have the chest piece, okay? So this is what helps continue that onslaught I was talking about with the SMG, where once you get a kill, you keep refreshing if you get that kill within 5 seconds, which you will. I'm gonna get into the secondary in a second, but like I said, I'm not done yet. If you want to exponentially increase your weapon damage, use the busy little bee before the fight starts. Now, this talent is really broken, okay? Each shot to a different target will give 1 stack up to 10, and they are worth 20% weapon damage. Stacks will activate once the agent switches weapons and will last for 10 seconds. These have no time limit on them, so you can take your time with the busy little bee. Make sure you get all the stacks that you want. It doesn't run out. The timer starts only when you swap weapons. And so if you're preparing to melt a boss or kill a rogue agent, you can prepare for that patiently. That's 200% weapon damage on top of whatever else you have. But even if you get 5 stacks, that's 100% weapon damage. 1 stack is 20%. This thing is insane. And this is what I was talking about, because once you swap weapons again, this is tacked on top of that versatile Centurion Scabbard. And finally, the unwavering, that gives you that 300% weapon handling. Weapon handling encompasses everything that has to do with the functionality of a weapon, like reload speed, swap speed, stability. It's like the weapon version of skill efficiency, which encompasses like skill haste, skill damage, the works. If you look at this shotgun, it's called Light Glue, and it has a talent on it called Perfect Brazen. Now this has to be one of the best shotgun talents because it deals some insane damage as well. You receive 3.5% amplified damage on the next shot with the weapon for each pellet that hits the target. If at least 4 pellets hit, killing an enemy will provide plus 8% amplified damage on the next shot for each pellet. Now, remember what I said the correlation is between amplified and increased weapon damage. You multiply the amplified damage on top of whatever increased damage that you have. So if you have the busy little bee, you get like, let's say 5 stacks. You swap to this shotgun, it's gonna amplify for each pellet by 4%. Get a kill, it's gonna amplify it by another 4%, making it 8. Then you swap to the tactical vector SBR. Bro, do you see the multiplication of damage that you will receive on here? Which is why it hits harder than Striker with full stacks. I tested this out, by the way, and I'm not downplaying Striker. It's a great gear set, but when there's something that comes along like this, you have to take notice. I haven't even talked about the modifiers like impatient. The rate of fire gets crazy here because with an SMG, you're going to want to be within close range. Now, the Legatus backpack for the 2-piece has 70% optimal range. That's another thing that weapon handling gives you. So you don't need this 2-piece, right? You don't need this at all because optimal range is within weapon handling's wheelhouse. So you get 300% optimal range, which makes the tactical vector, which is considered a short range weapon, shoot like a laser beam across the map. That caters to Symphony's gear set talent, wherein you have to be outside of 25 meters to activate this 40% weapon damage bonus for shotguns and SMGs. So it's no problem here when it comes to the ranges. And if you have a rifle, it's even better. I would like to use the Urban MDR because I think this seems like the perfect build for that. I just happen to have my ACR SS already locked and loaded, ready to go with Boomerang. This was dealing some great damage. It's a nice secondary to have if you're playing legendaries, like I said, knocking them out. But the Urban MDR, the only reason I didn't use it is because I don't have Boomerang rolled on here. I was trying something out with Eyeless, but I'm definitely going to revisit this because it's my favorite rifle for sure. So the attribute composition you want on here is critical hit damage for the gear sets, since you could only have one. Make sure you roll crit damage. And I don't want to put too much armor on here just for the chest piece. I got crit damage rolled everywhere for the gear set and crit damage mods because I'm using an SMG. And with an SMG, your crit is going to be almost pretty much maxed out. Especially if somebody's using Coyote's Mask. Whatever you don't have, that'll make up for it. Centurion Scabbard already has crit hit chance on it and weapon handling. And for the backpack, I have crit chance, crit damage. Now let me show you the stats because I'm at 51% critical hit chance and almost 150 crit damage with the Vector SBR, 30% with the shotgun, and 140 crit damage. which is pretty good. I mean, I don't really have to worry about the numbers that much because I was just playing the build and I saw what it was doing. And the skills, as always, that I used are the EMP sticky bomb and the decoy. These are perfect for DPS style builds. Now what you can do is use the pulse, because with the gunner specialization, it has an exclusive pulse that's specifically for this specialization. It's called the Banshee Pulse. It launches a forward arc of pulse energy that disorients enemies caught in the wave, and it penetrates cover. So this could be a good catalyst for you rushing in with your SMG to try and get your first kill on a few groups. Like when I was in that legendary mission, I threw one of my grenades, which is the foam grenade, stuck them in place, which did pretty good as well. But the Banshee Pulse is really good, and I don't really use it that much, but I think this is the perfect opportunity to do so. It's definitely why I named this build Prodigy, because it just turns new players and veterans into beast mode. Just think about it, yo. Like I said, if you want to use Striker, you can, okay? You can use Striker if you want to, but in order to get that bonus from Striker, you have to get your stacks up, which is not hard to do, but guess what you have to do in order to get this weapon damage bonus? Swap weapons. That's it. And if you want more damage, get a few stacks with the busy little bee. All you got to do is shoot an enemy and you got to kill him. And let me tell you something real quick before we end this video, because I tried this out in PvP. I was so hype about it. I was like, let me go in conflict to see. And here's the state of PvP. This is the thing that really made me annoyed. Okay. I went into PvP. I got a few kills with this. Fine. That's cool. But I wasn't enjoying myself because I was getting destroyed too. The thing with the state of PvP right now, the only way I can have fun with it is if I mix it up. The last couple builds, I was going in there pretty much DPS heavy or armor heavy. I wasn't really using any skills. And that's outside of my wheelhouse because I like to use everything in my arsenal in order to just dominate. Once I got a few kills, played a few conflict matches with this, and I started dying, I'm like, you know what, I'm done. I got my kills. I showed this in PvE, legendary, whatnot. It's time for me to make another build to break the meta. You know what the meta is right now? LMGs and pretty much Umbra initiative. Because everyone wants to sit in cover. They want to run around and get the jump on you, burn you down as fast as possible. I made a build. It's not the build that I made, Spectre. It's better than Spectre because it's versatile all the way around. Just look at these clips. I'm going to release that video soon. It has 3 amplification damage bonuses with the weapon catering to those damage bonuses as well. But that's a talk for another day. I just wanted to bring this to you because I feel like a beast when I'm playing this build. And I hope you do too. Matter of fact, if you made it here, you're a legend. And I want you to comment Prodigy down below in the comment section. I appreciate you stopping by, watching this to the end as always. And you know I love when you like my videos and subscribe to my channel. Road to 50K, baby. I'm almost there and I cannot wait. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. And if you want to check out any of my other builds, then click this video right here. I'll see you in the next one. Be right out.